Thank you for joining us on the Gainbridge Super League Game Week. We are so excited you're here. I'm Brooke alongside my co-host.
I'm Jade Barquette. I'm sure you guys have heard our voices on Peacock covering this league. Now you get to see us in person. Brooke and I don't get to work together on these games that we call, but now we get
Yeah.
to showcase these athletes' stories, who they are off the field, and it couldn't be a better time for us to do this.
Yeah, we can bring those Yap sessions that you and I have now to everybody else so that they can be clued in on everything they need to know about the Gainbridge Super League. It's in year 2. We have so many fun stories in terms of players, storylines, coaches, everything you need to know, especially with our first episode with Sydney Cummings and Alyssa Walker from DC Power. Teammates, former roommates, best friends. So much fun talking to them, Jade, and hearing their background, even to going overseas.
You can just see the relationship that they've built over the years that they have known each other. I'm so excited for you guys all to listen to it and just to reflect on how they've grown as soccer players, and how each other has helped the other do that as well. Their personalities playing off one another, and then just the growth of the game that they have done, knowing that it's bigger than just themselves, is a huge piece that I'm so excited for people to listen to as well.
Yeah, that was super fun hearing Alyssa talk about how she's giving back to the game. But you're going to want to tune in on the story of how they had to drive 10 to 15 hours to go get a dog. Be sure to tune into that a little bit later. Jade and I both are former players. So much fun being to be on this side of things, calling the games as former players. And what a better time. Playoffs are right around the corner. I can't believe we are here. Sporting Jacks, Lexington, Carolina have all punched their ticket to the playoffs. This will be the first time we see Lexington in the playoffs.
It's going to be a fiery playoff picture. I'm so excited. You mentioned Lexington first in Carolina, making sure that they're back in the playoffs this year, 8 unbeaten right now. And then Sporting Jacks, new in the league this year, making a name for themselves and have been incredible this entire season and really peaking at the right times.
Carolina was like a sleeping lion after the break. They came out and after retooling, adding some exciting pieces to what was already a pretty stout group that you and I have seen and called, and Mackenzie George, Riley Bazin. They now get Tyler Lucy on that front line, some other players that they have added, and Philip Poole really hasn't gone away from their style of play. They have just added to it in terms of talent on that front and middle line, and now we'll be able to see them in the playoffs. I'm so excited.
Me too. And all three teams that have clinched right now are very possession style teams. They're
Yeah.
going to use the entire field, play within one another to eventually get into that final third. And I'm so excited to see the goals that we'll see in the playoff picture in just a month. It's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, Lexington, probably the most organized group, and Kat Berry, 15 goals, setting the new single season record in the Gainbridge Super League. So exciting. Sporting Jacks, also really well organized team. They are an incredible threat. Spokane just beat them last week. That was out of nowhere.
Anything can happen in soccer.
Yeah.
Gritty game between Spokane and Sporting Jacks, but Ashlyn Puerta, just the youngster that has stepped into this league and made a name for herself, leads the helm there at Sporting Jacks, and they're going to be the team to beat for the playoff picture.
Definitely. We won't hold you much longer, but join us each week as we talk to new players and maybe even some coaches in the Gainbridge Super League and bring you inside the lines on who these players are, where they're from, what they're about, and why they love the beautiful game that Jade and I get to talk about every single week and break down. We'll get to that interview now with Sydney Cummings and Alyssa Walker with DC Power. Welcome back to the Gainbridge Super League Game Week alongside Sydney Cummins and Alyssa Walker with DC Power. I'm Brooke Kirchhoffer alongside Jade Barquette. Guys, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
We want to take it back to when you guys first met each other back in Spokane. It was your first time in this league. How was that first meeting one another? What were your first impressions when you first saw each other?
Well, Alyssa was late to come in because she was coming off of her season in Denmark, and just like with the timing of the league, it was kind of crazy. Like she didn't really have a break. So she was late. So I moved in, I got the big room, everything was great. And we did not know each other at all,
Okay.
at all. It was completely random how they put us together, and they did a really good job.
Yeah, I think we started like kind of like texting before like we went in, and I've had poor roommate experiences in the past, so I was kind of going into it. And then you kind of like look through social media and you have these like
Oh, yeah.
sort of notions like, who could this person be? And so we're both kind of like
Yeah.
and then like when we met each other, we were like, actually, you're like cool. So
Yeah, started
Yeah.
hanging out like right away, doing everything together, and it was really nice
Yeah.
because I had like moved around from place to place, and I was like, when I'm in a place, like that's it. Like I have my room, I have the bed, like that's kind of all you do. And she was very big on no, like let's make this apartment our home. And so that was really nice. Like we would come back to our apartment every day, and it was actually like the home that we had kind of built, and it was a good hangout spot
that's
for
so
people.
cute. That's giving me like the chills, like thinking about it. That was so
Yeah,
sweet.
it was a good hangout spot for members of the team and a lot of fun memories. And so it was kind of crazy to think about how, like 2 years ago, we didn't even know each other, and now we're best friends.
Yeah.
That's
I love that.
crazy. That's
And
so crazy.
Alyssa, I have to ask you, so since you were stalking social media, trying to see who Sydney was, did you come across anything that you could remember that you're like, oh no?
No, not really. Like I honestly, like I had like gone and seen like, okay, who was our mutuals? And I had literally like asked like people like, oh, like what do you think about like this person? Da, da, da. And like I got positive feedback. Like the biggest thing like about Sydney that like I got though, that I was like, I actually thought that I was like, I'm gonna get along with her because of it, but like because like she's like very like outspoken and like not afraid to like give her opinion on things, and I think that's something that I always like I value in like my friendships and stuff. Like I want people to feel comfortable and be able to hold me accountable in like certain ways, but also be able to like just like have an engaging conversation where like there's mutual respect on both sides. And like I heard a lot like about her in that manner, and then it just like all like came into it. So I think like at the beginning I was a little like intimidated, but like in a good way.
I can see that. I can see that, especially watching some game tape of Sydney. So
Oh, yeah.
I can see the intimidation factor.
She's so smart that it makes you like kind of feel dumb sometimes, but then when she validates like things that like I say, I'm like, wow, but you make me feel so smart.
It's the Ivy League in her. It's the Ivy League in her. It is.
Yes.
When we were doing our research, how did you guys not play against each other in college?
Right.
All in the Northeast, you're playing in the same spots. You said you didn't know each other before, but kind of knowing that you guys played different teams, similar teams against each other in college. Have you guys talked about those days at all, or not really since we're in the professional realm now?
Well, not
I mean,
really.
so you're 2 years older, they were 2 grades older than me?
One grade.
One
year.
grade?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just, like when I was I think the time that we would have played each other would have been when she was at Richmond and I was at Georgetown. But like those didn't align because
Yeah.
it was her undergrad and my grad. So like,
No, opposite.
no, Richmond was your undergrad, Georgetown was my
Oh,
grad.
yes. So I left though after
Yeah.
that. So by
Yeah.
the time like Richmond could have potentially, because I think we did play Georgetown
Yeah.
when I was an undergrad, but
I
by the
wasn't there.
time she got there, I had transferred to Iowa.
Yeah.
Just missed each other.
Yeah, so then no, like we never really chatted about college and like how we would have missed each other. I think it's more crazy professionally,
Yeah.
like missing each other.
We
Yes.
almost. She actually like was getting recruited to play at the team that
Oh yeah.
in Denmark, and like we chatted about that. Like she was supposed to come in, and then there was another center back that came in place of her because she said no.
Yeah.
So it's like wow, like we were literally like that close to crossing paths like just a year prior.
Yeah, we were looking at that, and it's crazy the stories you guys have in terms of looking at where you went internationally, and again, not crossing paths just yet until the Gainbridge Super League. What was it like, and how did you maybe add to your game on the international perspective?
I think for me, being overseas was a lot about like getting that professional experience under your belt. Because when you like first start and you're in the NWSL, it's hard to get anything outside of like training minutes. And even when you are getting training minutes, especially as a center back, you're like the fourth, fifth string. And so I think going overseas and having to actually get game minutes and game awareness and all that stuff, I think was just really helpful in helping me develop my game beyond like, all right, I can do a drill, but can you do it when someone's running at you full speed and they don't know, what's happening. So I think for me, it was just good. And then getting that experience, getting that confidence, and then being able to come back to the States, like playing close to home, like being near your family, not having to have a SIM card and living out of 2 suitcases and all of that kind of stuff, I think it's just made it like a more enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I would say the same. Like I learned like so much about myself as a player, but also so much about myself as a person that it just set me up for more success now that I'm able to come back home. Like I think there's a lot of things that I've been put in a place where I don't take that for granted. Like for example, like you go from college and then you go to like overseas, and there's still like a lot of teams and leagues that are underdeveloped, and so you have to like really like deal with a lot of like BS. And then when you come to this league, as it's growing and it's getting like better, you can take some of that experience, but also like understand it's like, okay, like we can push in like a positive way rather than a way that we're complaining a little bit too much to where like it doesn't actually take steps forward. So yeah, I think a lot of different types of experiences that we're able to like carry into our environment now that helps the team, the league, the players like all like excel further.
How nice was it to be able to come back home, back to the US with the addition of the Gainbridge Super League?
Yeah, I feel like it changed both of our lives.
Yeah.
Like it's really nice. Like being overseas is great. Like the experience that you get, both of us are big proponents of like everybody should go overseas. But the experience you get both as a person, as a player, like it's just cool to be in Europe and like being able to travel around like for pretty cheap. Like that part of it is really, really nice. But I think being back in the States, and I mean, both of us have second jobs. So it's like being able to actually like kind of start your life, quote unquote, and not just have things on hold, put down some roots. Alyssa got a dog recently.
Nice.
So it's just like little things like that that make it really nice that you don't feel like, oh, my life's on hold. I'm like getting later and later in my 20s. When's my life? Like, it's just nice. It starts to like blend like, okay, there's this soccer version of me, but then like I am also a person that has other interests and other things. And it's just easier to blend those together when you're in the States.
Sid, I read that or read that you were sitting on the field after your last game and you were like, I want to continue playing soccer. I can't stop this.
Yeah.
What was something that you were going to do if you didn't play anymore? And are you doing that now as your second job, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I've been really fortunate. I feel like the trajectory that I've been on has kind of aligned really well as I'm getting pinged for my other job. So sorry if you can hear that.
Okay, she's working.
Yeah, when I was at Georgetown getting my master's for college credit, I interned at a company now known as The Team, formerly as Wasserman, and being able to work for them, like coming back, I think it was like 4 years later, I just reconnected with them and was like picking their brain, because when people had asked me, oh, what do you want to do when you're done playing, I always came back to that internship. And when we were in Spokane, Alyssa was the first person I told. When we were in Spokane, I was like freaking out, because it's like all this stuff with like contract negotiation and like you don't know where you're gonna be, and you signed a 1 year and like all this stuff. And I had just felt like I need a backup plan. Like if I have to hang up the boots, like I need to know what's next for me. And so I did like all this networking, like got back in touch with them, and they were basically like, we loved having you on our team. Like, could you work part-time? And so the idea was like work part-time, get a contract. If you don't get a contract, like we'll just bring you on full-time. I literally ran into Alyssa's room. I was like jumping up and down on the bed. I was like, I can't believe this is happening for me. Like I do feel really fortunate and really lucky. I know other people aren't necessarily in the same boat, but like I feel like I'm literally living my best life, because I'm doing what I love on the field, and then off the field, I've been really fortunate to like get really good work experience doing something that I love with my working team.
I love that. Alyssa, what has your experience been like with that?
Well, kind of like the beginning of last year, like I've always had a second job. So even when I was overseas, I was actually working for an accounting company, but that was like primarily to like just make some extra money.
Yeah.
I am not an accountant by any means. I was also fortunate enough, like I had a family member who was working with the company, and so they brought me on, and I was kind of just a runner. Like I just did paperwork and like made a little bit extra money that way. But right now I was connected with Expand Your Game, which is a mental skills coaching program. So like I mentor kids to the side, and again, it just like came from like who I know. Sam Carey, who's currently playing in the NWSL, connected me and was like, hey, Alyssa would be a really good person for this. And then I joined on, and now I'm working on expanding like that program. So going into that, like I think that like it's really important as a player to be able to like literally expand yourself outside of just soccer, like, because you're treating yourself as a whole being, not just a soccer player, and it's so important to like reconnect with that identity. When you've been playing for soccer for so long, you kind of get swarmed that like a soccer player is the only thing that I am, which is just simply untrue. But it's really hard when it's your whole entire life, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, like I actually have space to discover like what else am I? And I think in college you don't really have that experience either, because you're just like school, soccer, maybe a party here, but like hardly. So yeah, like I think it's just like, in terms of even like both of us, like I think that we've been able to become better soccer players because of the fact we're able to go home, reset, explore other parts of ourselves, but then also like still have a space to like I mean, Sid and I still, like, I think a lot of players too, they're like, once I go home I never want to talk about soccer ever, like it's just at the field. But Sid and I, like, if there's something that's going on the field, we come back and we still talk about it, done, and then we go to like the rest of our life. So like we're able to like, yeah, expand just different areas of our life to like be a better person, but it also turns into like being better soccer players.
Alyssa, you bring up a really good point too, in terms of a lot of especially former college athletes who don't know what's next. What is my identity? And I want to ask you about the dog that you said you got, but also you're being able to identify too as giving back with that program you were just talking about.
Yeah. So what's your question? Sorry.
What it's like to be able to give back in that part of the game. And then also we want to hear about the dog.
Oh yeah, okay. So I mean, I love it. I love being able to give back in that way, and I don't think I've ever really fully wanted to be like a coach. Like I didn't want to go and coach skills and things like that. But like in terms of like working on the mental skills aspect, you see so many kids, especially younger and younger these days, like they're clouded by social media and comparison, and to be able to like help these kids like identify that early on and then take it in. Like I tell them all the time, I'm like, I wish I had this type of exposure to these type of skills when I was in high school. Like, and now being able to give back to them early and just like seeing these kids go on and they're like committing to their colleges and they're starting to like reframe how they're looking at the game to where it's like you're going back out to the field and you love it again, rather than feeling like it's a job. Like you should never be 12 years old thinking that you're like working a job when you play soccer. Like it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to dare to make mistakes. So I love it so much, and seeing like the transition from these kids is like really, really amazing. And then what would you like to know about my dog?
Oh my gosh.
We gotta know name. What is
Sid? Yeah. What does Sid want to tell us about your dog?
I'll tell you. So Alyssa, when I first met Alyssa in Spokane, she wanted a dog. So I did not grow up with a dog. And I was like, fine, I could be an aunt. Like, this is going to be so fun. And just with like her ACL recovery and all that stuff, like it didn't really make a lot of sense. All right, then she's in Carolina. She's still like, I really want a dog. Like, her roommate over there had a dog. She was like, you know, maybe it makes sense. Lo and behold, now she's coming to DC Power. And like within like a month, she was like, sent me this like listing.
Yeah.
Do you call it a listing? And was like, look at this dog. He's so cute. I want him. And I was like, great. Like, let's go. She was like, I'm so glad you said that. He's in Ohio. So
did you make the trip?
Our first weekend off, we road trip to Ohio, and we go and we pick up this cute little puppy, and now she has a child.
Yes, now I have a child.
Yeah. His name is Milo. He's so cute. And he is very energetic. He's a border collie Elkhound mix.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, he loves attention. Everybody wants to give him attention. He is very, very cute.
Has he been to the field yet?
Say again?
Has he been to the field yet?
No.
He's been to Audi, but he hasn't been to our field yet. So eventually, like, I do like want to train him to be a PSD. So
oh wow,
that's always been the goal ever since like when I first like went to Sweden. I had like had this idea in my head like what I wanted, and then it just again like never made any sense. Like I was in Europe, and so now like I have a little bit more freedom. My family doesn't live too far away, which is like makes it a little bit easier, and like being able to like I just honestly got to a point in my life I wanted some kind of responsibility, and I actually felt like I was secure enough to do it. And then I was gonna wait like another month and get like a
No,
little
you
bit
weren't.
more
No, you weren't.
situated.
She was
No,
looking
no,
it up.
I
You were
was.
looking it up.
Wait, hold on. I was like browsing, like, cause I was going to do it during this like spring, and then as I was browsing, when I saw him, he has like these like different colors. And like I have vitiligo, so I always kind of had this idea. It's like, oh, I want my dog to kind of look like me. And like obviously he doesn't have vitiligo; he's just like a typical mixed dog. But like when I first like got him, I like would make jokes, and I would just be like, oh, he's my twin, he's my twin. And now like people like will say too, they're like, I love how he has the same patterns as you, and I'm like, thanks.
I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose.
I love it.
We are going to switch gears and do a little bit of a DC Power duo, this or that, okay? I know you guys aren't roommates anymore now, but we're still best friends. We hang out all the time. So I'm gonna take you back into that roommate mindset, best friend mindset, and I'm gonna, who does this or who does that is what we're gonna go on.
Okay.
This is
First
good.
one, who is a dishes doer or a dishwash loader?
I feel like we both did
Yeah,
it.
like we both did.
Yeah.
Nobody uses the dishwasher?
When it was there, we did it. If we were home, like, just
Oh, are
whoever
you
got
saying
to
like
it.
who does dishes by
Yeah.
hand? The dishwasher?
Yes.
Oh, we both do the
Oh,
dishwasher.
yeah, dishwasher.
Both do dishwasher.
Have to. I was about to say, guys, what are we doing?
Yeah.
All right,
who-
who's the messy one? Who cleans up?
I'm a
Ooh,
little bit more messy.
okay.
I'm a little bit more messy. Like, I like to be organized, but the times where, like, if my mind's, like, not centered, then, like, I'll be, like, more messy. But in terms of the common area, like, we would always keep our common area clean.
You
just
said
my
Sid wanted to decorate a little bit more. Was she the interior designer of
No, it
the
was
team?
actually,
I am.
yeah, it was
Oh,
Alyssa's
it's the
idea.
interior designer,
Yeah,
okay.
it was Alyssa's idea to decorate. But we actually did a lot of thrifting, and I am a thrifter.
Yes,
So
okay.
we found it was conjoined effort. We did a really
Yeah.
good job for that
Yeah.
apartment. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Next one, who has the longest skincare routine?
Oh.
Ooh.
Like
Well-
both, but different.
I would say I'm still learning. So the only reason why mine's long is because I don't understand what I'm doing. She has a good routine that I ask her questions. I'm like, so when do you put this on?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I would say like Sydney's more secure.
I think I have like a more set routine, but I think you experiment a lot with like
Yeah.
making her own lotion and like
Yeah.
all natural like and stuff like that. So it's just different. We're just different in that.
I'm gonna
regard.
need some of that lotion.
I
Alyssa.
know,
Send some our way. I want some.
Making your own? That's amazing. Okay, so who's the chef and who eats out?
She's the chef,
chef.
1,000%. An amazing chef too. She can bake, she can cook, she can do it all. And I don't like food. So
Don't like food.
I don't like food. I eat to survive.
That's not true. Like if I make something,
Then it's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the effort because she doesn't like to cook as much. Like the effort doesn't meet the reward for her.
Yes.
Okay.
Whereas like for me, I'm like I will spend hours making something and eat it in like 2 minutes, and I'm so happy.
Clean
Yeah,
plate
but I-
club.
Yeah.
Even if it's delicious when I make it, I'm like, "Ugh, but I spent so long on this, like it's just not worth
Yeah.
it. But if she makes me something, yes, amazing.
I love it. Last one, and we'll get you guys out of here. Scotland or Sweden? Back to your international playing days.
Oh, Sweden. I've never even been to Sweden. I'm saying Sweden.
I've never been to Scotland, but I would. I did really like Sweden. I think like the only thing I think about Scotland is maybe it's like
The weather. The weather is hard. The weather's hard in
Yeah.
Scotland.
So where I was at in Sweden, I wouldn't say it's like super rain.
Yeah.
Place.
And I would say like
Cold,
culture wise, like I think Sweden has like a very different culture than like UK culture, and like UK culture is very like blunt, like in your face, kind of harsh.
Yeah,
and
Sweden's like very like nonchalant. Like,
yeah, I think that's
we're
nice.
sweet, and yeah, they're very kind
Yeah.
in Sweden for sure.
I love it. Well, we so enjoyed talking to you guys. Thank you for sharing your stories. Sydney, we'll have to follow up with you to see if Ominda Mazi passes another tactical formation change at halftime and you have to slip it in your sock. That was probably my favorite story of the season. I know that was back in August, but thank you guys so much for taking the time.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
of course.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having us.
All right, Jade, now time to test our friendship. Would you
Right.
drive 10 hours with me to go get a dog?
I would. It would definitely solidify us. You could
Yes.
never not talk to me again. Never not talk to me again. I wonder how many stops they had for Milo to use the bathroom or for one of them to use the
Yes.
bathroom if they coordinated it. I don't know.
No, I love it. They were so much fun to talk to, and even though not being roommates now, I guarantee that they are still seeing each other during the week.
Oh my goodness, I would have to go down the hallway and say hello,
Yeah.
especially if they lived together before. I'd have to. But it was so exciting just to hear their hearts, how they've changed in the game, in their professional playing
Hmm.
styles and professional personalities now. We saw Alyssa talk about the change that she's made from going overseas and coming back home.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of this whole thing, right? We got to let the people know, the fans know who these players are outside of just the game that they play.
Yeah, and how much of an impact the Gainbridge Super League has just in year two, bringing those players home, I think is the biggest impact. So excited to see who we're going to interview next. And there's so many stories, some of them up on our YouTube page right now in Gainbridge Super League.
Plenty of extra content there. Built for Success series is on the YouTube channel. It's highlighting some of our players in the league, potentially maybe some coaches down the line. Who knows? But stay tuned. Please like and subscribe to stay updated on all of the content. And we cannot wait to talk to you guys again soon.